Boom, baby, we're live. What up, boys? Welcome to Tokyo Crypto Show, episode 172. It's your dynamic duo. It's me, Alex, the chart guy. We're going to be talking about what a wild week we saw in Ethereum. That wasn't on my bingo card, Alex.
Yeah. But that's it. I was thinking bull market in terms of Shrek 2. Where are we at? And last week it was like, you know, the fairy godmother started that. I need a hero karaoke sequence. That's what we're in now. It's like we're fucking going. We're charging the gates. So Ethereum popping off. I'm like, that's it. That's it. I don't know why, but I can't get it out of my head. I just keep hearing that and seeing.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, if Ethereum, guys, if you're watching, especially if you're watching right now and there's just lull in the market, we're gonna give you some seriously good information regarding Ethereum, what we saw this week. And we're not even going to play the commercial for the Masculine Empowerment Network. If you do want to be part of it, like I said, I'm taking applications until Friday. Go to this link right here, school.com/MLD. And then there's an application in there you have to fill out. It's the first thing you see. It's pinned at the top. You cannot get into the Masculine Empowerment Network unless you fill out this application. Then you'll be contacted by the team. So thanks so much. And we're going to jump right into it because, yeah, bro, there is some serious money to be made with Ethereum. And here you go, Alex.
Bang. Here we go. So huge reversal here, blasted through the resistance here. We've stopped here. You know, it's just doing its normal stuff. People have been talking about this $4,000 sell wall. There is definitely a lot of people selling at 4,000, but there's definitely a lot of institutions picking up at this range as well. So we'll bring up the ETF stuff a bit later, but you'll be able to see like Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin in inflows at the moment, which, you know, you could say it's unprecedented, but I mean, this has only been going for a little while. So we'll probably see an unprecedented thing every week. But basically, a lot of attention is on Ethereum at the moment. People have been screaming about, if we go to Bitcoin dominance really quickly, this big drop down here.
Yep.
Bit of a recovery, but not, you know, we need to see like a huge, strong impulse up for Bitcoin dominance, or else this is indeed the top for the cycle and we'll just start grinding down now. So we'll see. But this is quite a violent 1 week drop. So this could be sort of the warning shot for Bitcoin dominance, where it can sort of eke its way up a little bit, but ultimately keep falling down. And when Bitcoin dominance drops...
Let me ask you something. Does that correspond perfectly with the SOL dominance chart? Because I think there's a gigantic capital rotation. That's what we were figuring out, Derek and I.
So you got SOL dominance.
SOL dominance, and then also Ethereum dominance.
Yeah, so Ethereum dominance has been climbing up as well. So the SOL dominance really just looks like Solana versus Bitcoin, same sort of thing here, which was looking very positive, but still has not yet cracked this level here. So we got very, very close. Should we crack that, then Solana is definitely going to outpace Bitcoin above here. That's like a signal that that's what's happening now. We haven't yet gotten that. We did get a very strong move, though. We're in the 160s to $205 just yesterday. But sort of we've started to come back down in it at the moment. I was getting kind of top vibes, but nothing was tripping. None of the indicators, none of the sort of the warning signs were picking off saying, oh my God, get out, get out, get out. So what I believe is occurring at the moment is we're kind of just getting a bit of a slowdown. We might get a retracement by a little bit. I mean, Bitcoin's still sort of chilling up here in the top part of its range. So we could just relax for a week, maybe two, or we could just keep going. But I think that we might see a little bit more chill price action now. Last week was quite explosive. Not for Bitcoin. We see Bitcoin's literally just kind of done nothing. This is the 3-day chart. So this is, you know, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Last 2 weeks, not much Bitcoin, but everything else last 2 weeks is flying up. So we might see Bitcoin chill out, finish accumulating, and then go on its next launch up to that sort of 130 region. So we shall see. Bull market might go crazy and finish up in August, but at this stage, it's looking like Q4 is still our time. So at least it hasn't topped out yet. Considering if it has, well then every single indicator under the sun that everyone's been using to try and predict it that has kind of relatively had success predicting previous tops well, if none of those, absolutely zero of the sort of 100 plus that everyone's working with have, like, none of them have topped out. So if we suddenly have a random top, then that would just be, pretty absurd. So it's,
Yeah, unprecedented for sure. I think that definitely is the word.
we can only assume it's fine. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, we identified this target ages ago. You might think, well, what's this? That's only one touch. But if we go back here, there's a lot of price action in this region for Ethereum, Bitcoin. So it wouldn't be surprising if we just sort of chill out here for a little bit. If we came back down again, this is sort of the area to beat for Ethereum to keep rising. But like that, look at that. That is a very strong positive candle. You're not going to say that, look, it's very, look how weak it is. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially versus Bitcoin and with all the inflows. Like, look, 30% versus Bitcoin in 1 week.
Yeah.
That's bullish.
Good.
You can't
That's
say
good money.
that's, yeah. So I think for people who are starting to get a bit too excited about Ethereum, like, I can see why. But, Ethereum ultimately, if you had just held that asset the entire time, you're pretty much at the same level that you were in the last market. Like, you really haven't gone anywhere in the last 3 or 4 years at 3,600. So, it remains to be seen how Ethereum goes. People are calling for all-time highs at the very least, but some people are up to $6,000, $7,000. We shall see how it goes. But at the moment, we're sort of in this zone here where a lot of people are dumping, but a lot of institutions very clearly are picking up by the ETFs. So that suggests that we're not done yet for Ethereum. So we might have a few weeks of just kind of chill out action before we continue on. But this is looking, it's all looking very positive, and it's not looking like anything's topped. People have been calling for an alt season. I prefer, because I've been seeing some people talk about, well, a lot of people have been talking about that. Instead of alt season, you got to think large cap season, because Ethereum pushing up. We had, the run from $1,300, but more recently, sort of 2,000, 2,500 up to 37, and then Solana equally, a couple of weeks ago here down at 100, earlier at 130, and then all the way back up at 205.
And let me just, I want to make a point on that Solana real quick, if you don't mind. And then, we can talk about BNB too. But this is just clear evidence, because I wanted to touch on this, and while we have the charts up, I might as well say it. So Ethereum is just got like the second christening, if you will, of like the big ETF. And BlackRock, which we're going to show in a second, has been buying a ton of Ethereum. And now, out of nowhere, Solana is also, going up in price, which just shows you that this is a manipulated asset, because it is not decentralized. Solana is controlled. And then also BNB always tries to go neck and neck with Solana. I think that's where we were going next, right? Yeah. And then when Solana overtook BNB, then, scamming CZ and fucking Binance, they're like, oh, look, we're our market cap's up too. Look at that. We're still, relevant. So it's all fake and gay, but it's
look, it's pushing all-time highs though, so there's money to be made, or money to have been made. I'm not the hugest fan of BNB. I don't really use the Binance exchange. I don't use any of the, like, Pancake Swap or any of that ecosystem. But it is definitely
the reason I'm saying it is because, I mean, look, if we really are going to have it seems to me that they're just going to let, like, when we have a blow off top, it's not necessarily organic. It's like a controlled demolition, if you will. You know what I mean? And I feel like when I'm seeing all this price action, Bitcoin going up, now Ethereum's finally moving, so Ethereum BTC is moving, Solana's going up with it. Now, and then you have XRP going up too, and then you have, XRP is not going up that high since 2017, I think.
Yeah, and, God damn.
8 years later, Diamond Hands pays off. So it's all like it's not organic, and it's all tied around this crypto week that we just had as well. So sorry, I just wanted to add that in there. Go ahead, Alex.
No, that's great. It's important, because who's going to benefit from crypto going up? And the president and all of the president's friends. They're all there, and it's not just like, Donald Trump has made lots and lots of money as a businessman through his life. But like since, and he even made a lot of money in the presidency last time. But this presidency, it's like in the, just on the Trump coin, he made
billions.
Billions. We're talking like more money than the man has made in his entire life was made in like 24 hours on a meme coin.
Mhm.
That kind of stuff. And then they went and made more with the Melania one just to see. And that was like, a bit of a rug pull, but it still made them many more millions. So like they are incentivized to push it up as much as possible. So, is it going to go up or is it not? Will they keep signing stuff into Parliament that is going to promote further growth? We keep seeing BlackRock still buying. We've been seeing some ETF outflows on Bitcoin, but still like IBIT is still like, I don't think they had an outflow. They still had like 0 on those days that others sold to buy Ethereum. So they're still holding, they're still putting into Bitcoin. Ethereum's kind of become a bit of a darling the last couple of weeks. But once again, it's only the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how long that lasts for. But there's definitely, we're starting to get to the phase where the stockbrokers are calling up and saying, hey, you've missed this Bitcoin thing, but we've got this Ethereum thing for you. You should buy that one. So hopefully we get that same thing with Solana, but we shall see. At the moment, these large caps are all starting to show signs of life and kicking up. So eventually you would think it would trickle down as more retail come in and they start to speculate and more memes once again might start seeing a bit of life. We haven't had that at the moment, but we also haven't had some ridiculous blow off move. And we probably will have some peak euphoria and that will see some sort of top. So we're quite confident that at this stage, we're still on. We were very confident last week, but the price was going up really a lot. Now that it's kind of chilled out a bit, we're still confident that we're looking forward to positive action in the next few months. Now, we'll let you know if that changes. If we get some sort of if Bitcoin at the middle of August is at $180,000, then I don't think we're going to Q4. I think that's it. But I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening. Like it would take some sort of ridiculous scenario.
You wouldn't even show up for the show if we were at 180 in August. You'd just be like,
yeah.
Done. See you later.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll just send like a little pre-recorded thing through, and but yeah, at the moment we're just sitting tight, really, and watching it and waiting for a big opportunity to get into stuff. When things crack an all-time high, and like BNB's cracked the all-time high, but it hasn't closed. Should we close the week up here? Then that's a similar case with like Bitcoin. Once it got a new all-time high and closed, then very quickly we made the run up from 112 to 124,000. What did this do? 123,236. It took like a week or less. So we shall similarly see in the end of a bull market, or we ought to see rather, like 2 or 3 weeks of these sorts of $10,000 kind of moves per week. Just crazy. And everyone will start telling you that, oh, it's going to go into, February, March next year, or, oh, because the ETFs are there, it's never going to stop and it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. No. That's what happens every time. And I'm not saying that can't happen, but people say that every time, and every time so far, at least for the entire history of Bitcoin and countless other assets, it has been the top and that has been it. So, let's not get too greedy because all of a sudden you're betting the whole stack on like a 0.1% chance of something happening when 99.9% of times that's it. Go home, just get out, go chill and work out what you want to do next. So yeah, we've had positive action. Let's jump into the ETF stuff, I think, because that shows, a lot. Like, because we're not talking like $10 million. In the early days of Ethereum ETF, it was like, oh, $10 million inflow, $2 million inflow. Now we're getting $500 million inflows, which is quite dramatic an increase. So
yeah, well, I mean, I've got more to talk about than just ETFs, but look, so here's the thing about everything regarding crypto week. So the governments are now involved in crypto and they're doing it to make money, profit. And if people in the public make money, sure, it's like an added bonus for them, right? And some people would be able to make money from this. But when you have Ripple pumping and then Bitcoin was pumping prior to crypto week, because people have fucking short memory, but Bitcoin just, scam pumped like a straight line, like right before crypto week happened. And then we pumped into the weekend going into crypto week. and then all the legislation that was basically pro Ethereum because it was due to stable coins. And what a lot of people don't know, the majority of stable coins are on Ethereum to this day. Even though Solana does more volume than all chains combined, the amount of money on Ethereum is massive. It's billions and billions and billions. So now they're going to be starting to build a lot of these DeFi protocols and integrating them into TradFi. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I've been seeing here, and you guys can kind of get the total picture. So there's a couple things I want to show you. So first thing is here. This is the Kaito. This is the token mindshare. Ethereum has been number one for several days in a row now. Typically, it's Bitcoin at number one, Ethereum number two, then Solana is number three. But Ethereum has taken over so far. As you can see, Pump is up here because they're kind of down, their tokens dying. Pengu did pretty good. It was like, you know, during the whole Israel thing, when it was like 008, now it pumped up to 4 cents. You know, that's like a more than a 4x right there. Obviously, XRP is up here. Bonk has been doing good too. And, you know, the meme ecosystems have been doing well with the Bitcoin dominance drop too, which is, you know, it's a good thing. I think that's why we're having a widespread alt season. And if you just look at the narratives too, so AI has been consistently number one for this entire bull market. That's been the theme of this bull market. So if you see anything that's good out there, AI, obviously not financial advice, but if you see anything good out there, the project looks stable and it's based upon math, not hype. You know, take a look into it. There's some protocols out there that we're researching right now. And DeFi is clearly number two because it is, like I said, related to Ethereum, and all the, you know, the metrics are showing us because we have, like I said, the token mind share. It was Ethereum is here as number one. The narrative DeFi is number two. Like I said, it consistently used to be memes. And then, you know, there's all these new projects popping up. Like there's one here, Mamo, that we've been keeping an eye on. This token is only like, I believe was launched on May 21st. Yeah, May 21st. This is a AI agent utility token, and one of the head developers of Coinbase are doing something with this. So if you take a look here, this is like the week before Crypto Week. It's 5 cents here, right? And then Crypto Week happens right on the 14th, which is like right around here. So leading up to Crypto Week, it pumped, and the reason it was doing that is because this is on Ethereum. Well, it's on Base, which is an L2 of Ethereum. So if you just go look at the Ethereum, for example, and you look at the price action in the last 7 days, actually, no, let's do 1 month. Excuse me. So this was the week also leading up to Crypto Week. So people were in the know. They knew something was happening because it started, you know, going up right here. This is about 6 days away from Crypto Week. So it went from basically 2,600 to 3,800 in about 2 weeks time. That's not bad. And so another thing I was telling you guys to track is because when Ethereum goes up, right, its little sub coins go up too. SPX6900 is one of the premier meme coins. The guy that's leading this is kind of a zealot. They call him Meme Coin Jesus. He's quite the character. But you can see it was $1.20 down this year. And if you went further back to, like, let's just say if you bought at the lows, like when everything was going on, right around the actually it was pumping around there where, but yeah, like right around here, $1, and then, you know, it hit $2 the other day. So about a month time, you double your money. But that's if you can understand meme ecosystems and understand, like, you know, how it works. So there's definitely money to be made. Because like I said, so we have the Kaito AI, which is an aggregate talking about what everybody's talking about on Twitter. So they're talking about Ethereum the most. DeFi is making a big comeback. You had all pieces of legislation pass through the House, pass through the Senate. They're not finalized, but they're taking a break until September. So this kind of, you know, like I said, in my opinion, everything is, you know, getting pushed to Q4. If we have rate cuts as well. Steve is supposed to be here. He's going to be here any minute now. He's going to talk to us about rate cuts. Actually, I'm going to send him a message. But, you know, the everything, this is like why it's great to understand multiple avenues of crypto, because when you see everything pointing a certain direction, you can make some money. And people have made some money. out here watching us. One more thing real quick. I want to show you guys, then Alex is going to show you something on the chart. So, and then the final piece of the puzzle here is the Ethereum inflows to the BlackRock ETF. So keep in mind, the BlackRock, their ETH A is the code for their ETF. And then this is Fidelity here, right? Next to it. Okay. Fidelity is typically number 2 to BlackRock. So let's here looking at the 7th of July. So 50 million, this is just them, 50 million from BlackRock. So the total of the day is 62, 25, it's 46. And then you see it starts to pick up a little bit heading crypto week again. So 200, right? 383, 200. That's $1 billion right there. Okay, leading up to crypto week. Now crypto week starts. First day, 259, then 200, then 726, and then 600, and then 400, you know, and then 300, and then 533. You know, and that's yesterday, this 22nd. It's the 23rd now. We're waiting on BlackRock's numbers to come in, but it looks like Fidelity got 3, and then I don't know, I forget what this one is. They got 4. But as you can see, these are dethroning, because look, this is BlackRock. They have bought 0. This is the Bitcoin ETF, and everybody else is selling. So this corresponds to what we're showing with Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is falling. They are selling the Bitcoin ETF. The Ethereum dominance is going up. The Ethereum inflows are all-time highs. This is the most amount of billions of dollars flowing into Ethereum. So the thing that's good about this is Ethereum goes up, everybody's going to make money. Alts, like, because everybody has to compete, you know. Fucking Vitalik still got the market. Yeah, Alex, you want to show us the check?
Yeah, it's just a question about XRP. So, like, you know, it's done well all the way up here. We've had this entire area, and some people go, "Oh, it's a massive, vast cup and handle, and isn't that good?" Yes, 80% of the time it kind of pans out. But how you sort of generally estimate what the price will go to is, and somehow I managed to draw that and then instantly delete it. Let's try that again. You just go from the top to the bottom. This is just like really rough, but this is just generally what you do. And then you put that on the breakout. So what's the target for this massive ass cup and handle for XRP? And that's about where we're at now. So, you know, some people go, "Oh my God, all-time highs, let's keep going." And it can keep going, but we got to remember it is a chunky boy at $190 billion market cap. And most of the I believe, we'd have to do a deep dive, but I believe that the foundation, XRP Foundation, their biggest revenue generator is just selling XRP. So we shall see if there's any actual integration of XRP into, you know, TradFi or something like that. Maybe that'll give them a bit of a kick to keep going. But in terms of this, like, massive, we're talking the entire bear market to like, you know, November. So that's sort of Donald Trump election. The target price for that is about what we got to, like literally 366, like boom, boom. So in terms of, is it going to keep going? Perhaps, but now it's price discovery territory. It's a chunky asset. So I wouldn't expect, like, you could have sort of expected if it was to suddenly go positive, because you wouldn't have been able to draw this until it broke out here. So if you expected it to go really well, that was sort of where your main expectation would take you. So for it to go even further, you need to start adding, like, now hundreds of billions of dollars. Like this was like $100 billion added onto the market cap, which is quite dramatic. So now we need to add $200 billion to get up to, you know, $5 or $6. So some people are calling out $10 XRP up here, and that would put it at like $1 trillion market cap, and or close to $850 billion market cap, which is double, like pretty much double Ethereum today. So I don't see that happening in the next 2 to 3 months, is all I'm going to say with that. So it's done well, but you know, I wouldn't be aping certainly into that
scam organization. I don't trust. Listen, I don't trust XRP. I just don't trust it. This motherfucking thing didn't pump for 8 years. You telling me it took 8 years to get another all-time high? Come on. We got meme coins running up billions and billions.
It's time in the market. It's time in the market.
Yeah,
you know,
get the fuck out of here. What do you think about
when those
this?
hex stakes, when those 15-year hex stakes come
Oh
up?
God, the Ethereum going up. Those fucking retards gonna start making money again. What do you think about this? What do you think about my theory that things are kind of picking up and rotating? Obviously, this may not be a personal,
for sure.
a permanent thing.
Stuff's happening. Stuff's
Hmm.
happening. You can just sort of, you can feel it. Now, all the fear and greed metrics aren't getting too frothy, which is great. They're staying in the 70, like sort of sub 80. Because, in the show months and months and months ago, we identified that a score of 85 or above is like, it's over. Because every time we got 85 or above, that was it.
Yeah.
Sort of as soon as it dipped back below, we're out of here. So we might get 85 and you might end up getting like a 93 or something on that fear and greed index. But that's just one metric. But we haven't had any crazy blow off top moves at the moment. We haven't had any crazy fear and greed stuff. We have nothing too crazy's happened, but you can feel the energy rising. Something's like starting to happen. We're getting to the end game, which we've been saying for a while now. So it's all good. It's all marching along really well.
I'm interested to see the ETF numbers because a couple things. Actually, I'll just pull it up for everybody at home. But like the Bitcoin monthly returns, right? So typically August is bad, right?
In this year of the 4-year cycle, though, I think it generally was a green.
Yes,
still.
that's the second caveat I was going to add to you. On the years after the halving, that's when August is actually good, and I think also September follows. But anyways, yeah. So typically, typically bad August, bad August, bad August. But then this is 2021. This is this was DeFi summer, right? Was this not DeFi summer?
Yeah.
Right. So for all you youngins out there, in 2021, Ethereum was the hottest shit you could ever get your hands on. Okay. And everybody and their mother was DeFi. You had these girls popping up as influencers like DeFi Princess, like blowing up just because of the name.
Yeah.
And that's all this money was made through Ethereum, NFTs, and DeFi. And if you go back to 2017, which we were saying at the beginning of the year, we thought this was to be a 2017 kind of a slow melt up because of the ETFs. And I would say that's pretty much, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we'll do a double top like with the 123 and then go, or what do you think?
Nah, I think we're just going to, I think we're going to launch up.
Yeah. I think so too.
And we'll get, 135 or 150 or 180 or something like that. But it'll be crazy though. It'll be like a 2 or 3 week frenzy. And, well, that tends to be what happens on a blow up top anyways. But I don't think it'll be some sort of double top scenario. I think it'll be hopefully a bit more obvious. It'll be when if you ever get the feeling that you want to take a screenshot of your portfolio and send it to your mates, then that's it. that's what you need to stop me. Wait a minute.
Wait, yeah. Oh boy, you're getting in trouble doing that. I want to see if we can see if it's because sometimes the numbers come in. It's the numbers come in so late. It's but I tell you, so far with the ETFs today, so Grayscale Mini 11 million, Bitwise they sold 2 million, Arc Capital sold 10 million, Fidelity sold 227 million. No numbers in from BlackRock yet. Let me check Farside.
20 million. Is that you're talking Bitcoin ETF?
Yeah, that's all Bitcoin.
It's a big sell.
Big sells. Yeah. Yep. Ethereum inflows, Fidelity 3.6 million. Solana ETF, the Rex ETF, Rex Osprey 0. And
still a week away from. I think there was more coming out at the end of July. The Solana ETFs.
Well, Trump is supposed to speak also this Sunday, which is July 27th. And this is at Bitcoin Nashville, I believe. And this is where he was the first president ever to speak and campaign on Bitcoin. It was the 1-year anniversary. So, again, will they scam pump us up to gas up President Trump? Because, this man loves to get gassed up. He's his own hype man. This guy, bro. But yeah, I think looking at everything else, you know, it's gonna be a short episode. Some of the other guys couldn't make it today, but anything else you want to close off with there, Alex?
We got a comment from Basel Madad. Just how would adding ETH staking to the ETFs affect the price? Basically, for all the boomer people dumping their money in, the finance people can now say you're guaranteed a 3.25% return because that's just the inflation of ETH. So saying that, it makes them feel a lot better. It makes it feel like, oh, this is not risky at all because like I'm guaranteed, you know, that's good.
They're just running the 2021 DeFi scam all over, you
Yeah.
know, like it's just staking rewards. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Because you are getting 3.25%, but you're getting it in Ethereum. So is the asset going to be worth more today than it will be in 12 months? I don't believe so. And I don't believe that's the case for literally any crypto. I think they will all be lower than today in 12 months' time.
Even
So,
Bitcoin?
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, we'll see how high it gets to give us a target for how low it might get.
Mhm.
But the low target would be anywhere from, you know, that $74,000 level we had a couple months ago to, you know, $100,000. You know, 30 to 50% kind of thing. Like even the last bull market still gave us like a 70% drop. So, you know, people say that it might not have as much volatility given all the ETF and like sort of TradFi money in it now. But, you know, 70%, that means, okay, so not 70%, but that can still be 60, 50, 40, 30, probably more because a typical bull market pullback is 20 to 30% anyways.
Right.
So you sort of go, what's the top? Shave off 30 to 50 and go, that's the sort of general region. And in general, like if you could pick up Bitcoin for half what you sold it for, that's, you know, not bad, not bad. If you have the mindset that it's going to keep going up into the future, then, you know, you can theoretically double. You won't. You won't. It'll never work out perfectly like that. But if you can sort of generally, then that's pretty good. But that is just dependent on how high we go to get targets. So there's not really much point.
Which I wanted to add. I wanted to add to that point. How high we go? I think we have kind of unanimously decided 5 trillion-ish is the total.
Yeah.
Crypto.
Oh, that's good. Actually, I'll quickly share that one
right, because that's one thing, guys. This one's really important for you guys watching at home. 5 trillion for me. 5 trillion is like you're crazy if you stay in. If we're past that, like, you know, if we get to 6.25 and it looks like we're heading towards 7, like maybe, but I mean, you're just gambling at that point. You really are.
Like, here's the quick thing. I mean, don't kind of ignore this. That's just like I just kind of drew what, you know, I was just having to think what sort of action could we see. But once again, if you do that classic, you know, the cup and handle thing, which, you know, 80% of the time it works every time. Oh, hold on, not that. Jeez, that'd be nice. You know, you're sitting there and you just go, okay, well, what's this plus this? Oh, it's, you know, we're in the 5. We're a bit over 5. We're a bit under 5. But here's the ballpark. So, and is that a reasonable increase? Well, we got in a similar amount of time, we got 123% increase. So, you know, in a similar amount of time, can you get half that? Yeah. So this is a sort of, this is October. Once again, we don't know if the top's going to be in September or in November, but, you know, Q4, we've got the zone, and you just kind of got to be in the zone and you'll be fine. So that's why 5 trillion, cool. Anything above that, we're quite overheated. Would be more than happy for it to keep going up. You know, Michael Saylor would be blowing his load up here at the 80, 100, 300 trillion. But, you know, at this stage, let's just take it level by level. And
well, listen,
the level to watch is
Steve
5.
just popped up. I know you said you got a heart out. If you want to go, you could go. Up to you,
Steve.
buddy.
Yo,
Steve, what's up, buddy?
I will in a second. I got to know. Are we getting the drop? Are we getting the cut? I don't think so.
So inflation's remaining pretty stubborn. The thing is like, okay, so if I look at the past 5 inflation prints, okay, June, May, April, March, and February, we have 2.9%, 2.77, 2.78, 2.81, and then in February, 3.14. So a slight improvement, but not much. That being said, if you compare jobs since 2022 to now, especially the most recent print in June 2025, We had that negative 33,000 number, and then a pretty paltry showing in May with 37,000 compared to in earlier months as recent as March where we were breaking over 100,000. So I'm thinking with the jobs falling off at the rate that they are, we have to see a rate cut within September or at least November. But no, rate cuts are coming for Q3 and Q4, and that's where I'm expecting to see most market strength. Let me see.
Steven.
Yes.
It's just me and you. So do you got to run?
I can stay on for 30-40 minutes. It's just my family's going to want me to go back out, but
yeah, we don't have to go 30-40 minutes, okay? But listen, there has been so much fuckery with Powell, and Trump has been berating him, and this is clearly politics. Let me ask you something. Is there a chance that we do not get rate cuts at all this year?
If there's no rate cuts this year, I'm going to flip to being bearish. If Powell is a big enough of an idiot to not cut rates in light of negative 33,000 jobs showing up in the private sector, that's inane. Like, I think he has to cut rates in September or November if for no other reason than to save his own, like, legitimacy, to save his own tail. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, he's been dragging ass.
Because, you know, the problem that gets us in trouble as investors when we think something's coming. Like the anticipation of the Trump pump was good, right? We knew we were like, it's going to come, he's going to win, we're going to win, we're going to pump, and boom, you know, everybody made money. Now, the problem here is people are kind of determining that something's going to happen in Q4.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to get cuts in July.
No, we're not going to get cuts in July.
No, and the meeting's next week, right? Exactly 1 week from now. Yeah, I really fucking hate this guy.
I do too. Go figure.
I really hate this guy. So what are you thinking then? Cut in August? There is no meeting in August, right?
No, they'll have their Fed minutes, but they don't have a rate decision.
Well, it makes, you know, if you want to put all these scammers together, I think Congress is in recess until September now. Is that correct?
Yep, over the Epstein files, because of course they would be. At least that's why I think they're doing it.
Yeah, and then
trying to delay.
They can't finalize all the bills that went through as well,
right?
And if they come back and the rates cut and we pump the market, you know, kind of. If there's any money to be made, it's going to be made in Q4, and we need rate cuts. We've seen, I don't know if you may have missed it, but like BlackRock and these ETFs have been acquiring Ethereum like at Bitcoin levels now, you know, billions and billions in a couple of weeks. So it has shaken up the market a little bit and shows that some, you know, there's brought some competition out because now Solana's pumping, BNB's pumping because Ethereum is pumping, and then XRP's pumping.
TradFi's been pumping, particularly with small cap stocks. And small cap stocks tend to be the risk on stocks of the market. That's where I've been putting my money, and I've been doing pretty damn well.
How do you define small cap?
Market caps, well, actually, technically, it would be micro cap stocks or ones with a market cap of $500 million to $2 billion. The reason why I like those the most is that once a company surpasses $2 billion in market cap, firms like, you know, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Merrill Lynch, and so on are all sending out their analyst teams to try and analyze what the true value is or isn't. But if it's beneath that value, I don't have to compete with all those people. They consider beneath 2 billion to be too risky to invest in and not suitable for clients. So there's a lot of mispriced assets there, even significantly mispriced assets. So that's the game that I've been playing lately. But that also means that this is a risk on market, which means we are beginning to get into there with the bull run. I mean, Bitcoin's been hitting around $120,000, right?
Yeah, it's been pushing upwards. We've been seeing some good inflows. Ethereum's finally waking up. We're seeing some outflows now, but you know, we also had some very like record-breaking stuff happen during crypto week. So that being said, what are you thinking? Are you bullish? You think we're going to have something in Q4?
I'm bullish for these reasons. Instead of the market shooting up like a crackhead in 2020 and 2021, it's been logging small little incremental gains every day. And despite of Trump giving out all these huge tariff threats, which threw off the market like crazy around April, the market isn't showing up to be as phased. We saw actually a somewhat, well, what's large for TradFi, 1.9% across the whole Dow Jones increase on just the news of us inking a deal with the Japanese. We came to a deal of, I think it was 15% agreed upon mutual tariffs. The market loved that news. We have a deadline coming up with the European Union for August the 1st, but it seems like the market's hopeful and wanting to see that we'll ink a similar deal like how we did with Japan for the EU. If we do that, I would definitely say there's more upside, as well as less risk for continued inflation, which means a higher chance for rate cuts. But again, follows those diplomatic news lines closely, guys. If anything, that might even have more impact than the Iran conflict, because if we decide to have 40% tariffs with the EU, that's going to affect finance a lot more than us hitting a developing country. No offense.
Yeah.
Well,
it seems that one by one, as we predicted, the countries are,
falling in line.
Yeah.
Most importantly, China.
Yeah. Even the Philippines got a bad deal. You saw, I think we paid no tariffs.
Really?
We paid no tariffs, and they pay us like a shitload of money, like 15%, I think.
Makes me feel bad for them, but okay.
It's funny as shit, bro. All right, man. Well, listen, guys, that's gonna do it for us. Nice and short and sweet. Just wanted to give it to you straight. So monitor the ETF numbers, and like I said, guys, we have a phenomenal show here. If you've been consistently watching us and not making money, you need help. If you want help, go to school.com/MLD, fill out the top pinned application, and we'll get you into the Masculine Empowerment Network. Till then.